Hello, I'm Dennis Pravinsky, and welcome to Grandpa Dennis's kitchen. Normally, it's welcome to Grandpa Dennis's wood turning studio, but today I'm really cooking. This is the ingredients that I'm going to be working with. Onions, celery, more onions, carrots. I'd like to have red pepper, but I don't have any, so I'm using an orange one, and cabbage. Yes, you're right. This is all about Cole Slaw. Believe it or not, this is all the ingredients that goes into the marinating sauce for the coleslaw. I'll go over all of it. Some olive oil, some lemon juice. Don't get the unreal lemon juice, get the real lemon juice. We've got some thyme, some crushed garlic, caraway seeds, rosemary, some Dijon mustard, oregano leaves, apple cider vinegar, sugar, salt, and pepper. That stuff gets all mixed together in a certain fashion, and that gets put onto the veggies. The first thing is to mix the marinating sauce. I want this done in advance so that all of the ingredients can percolate and absorb within each other and makes a nicer sauce. So, let's look at the olive oil. We're going to do half a cup. There, that'll be close enough to half a cup. Then the apple cider vinegar. Now the apple cider vinegar, we're going to do a full cup. There. Now we'll do a teaspoon of rosemary. There we go. Oregano, that's what's next. Another teaspoon of that. Now 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard. Two tablespoons of crushed garlic. I have to clean the spoon off here. 1, 2. Now normally, if 2 tablespoons of crushed garlic is good, 4 is even better. But I'm making this for my daughter, so I'm going to try and stick to my recipe. Tablespoons of lemon juice. Yes, we need 2 of these. I've got to shake it first. 1, 2. Sugar. Yes, secret ingredient. 2 tablespoons of sugar. 1, 2. There we go. Now for a teaspoon of pepper and a teaspoon of salt. So here's the scientific way of doing that. I like freshly ground pepper, so I'm going to put it on the sheet and keep measuring until I've got a teaspoon. Wow, that's a lot of work. You can never have enough pepper, especially freshly ground. Okay, now teaspoon of salt. Again, this is freshly ground salt. There we go. Send me an email if you're interested in purchasing this fancy get-up for putting the salt and the pepper on and putting it in. It's quite a sophisticated scientific method. Now the last thing we need is caraway seed. Yes, we're looking at a teaspoon of this. We also need a teaspoon of thyme. There we go. Time. Time is on my side. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Time is on my side. There we go. It takes a fair amount of mixing here because of the mustard. You want to get that thoroughly sort of dissolved. Okay, we'll set that aside and let all the spices and all the ingredients intermingle and blend in together. This has been percolating for a few minutes. I'll give it another stir and then we'll have to test it. I'm not sure we need all these ingredients. I think just having this is enough. Wow. Oh, that's nice. Nice aftertaste too. It's got some sweetness, but then it's got the bite of the apple cider vinegar and of the lemon. Oh, and the nice smoothness of the olive oil. That's good stuff. Okay, we'll let that percolate again and we'll get on to cutting up the veggies. First things first, we'll cut up the cabbage, and I'm going to be soaking this in some salt water for approximately an hour to get any bitterness out. But gotta cut it up before we put it in the Cuisinart. Essential to have a super sharp knife. I'm cutting out this core part because we don't want that. I'm also taking off the top layer of leaves. This is a trusty, larger slicing blade. Perfect. There's an old story about the butcher who was grinding up meat, and he backed into his meat grinder and got a little behind in his orders. Well, you don't want to put your fingers too deep in here because you'll get your fingers caught in your order. Set that aside. Now, I'm going to mix a little bit of salt into the water and fill this with water and let it percolate and soak in for approximately an hour. And that's going to get rid of any bitterness in the cabbage and get it really nice and crispy. I'm going to use some coarse salt. It's called kosher salt. It's coarse and it doesn't have iodine in it. That should be enough. I'm also using filtered water. I've got enough water in here to submerge all of the cabbage. Every few minutes I'm going to come in here and stir it up. Okay, I'm setting this aside. Now I'll work on the other veggies, cutting them up, and then we'll wait a bit and get to the cabbage. Okay. Now I'm flipping the blade around to get the coarse side here for shredding. And of course, the pieces that didn't get shredded get eaten. There's some cut up green onions. Here's some more green onions for cutting up. So why am I using green onions when I've already got white onions in there? Well, the green adds a little bit of color, and it's got just a slightly different flavor. Now I didn't use the Cuisinart on the onions because they're just too soft, and I think it'll just turn them to mush. And the same thing would be true with the peppers. So I'm just going to dice them by hand. The trick here is to dice peppers and not fingers. Red peppers would be better because it'll give a different color to the whole recipe. Okay, let's stir this up a little bit more. And I'll clean this up, and we'll come back in about 45 minutes to half an hour to drain and rinse the cabbage, and then we're ready to bring all the ingredients together. We'll see you then. Welcome back. Well, I made an attempt. I said to my wife, I cooked it, you clean it. But that didn't go very well. So I made an executive decision to clean the kitchen, which I've done. Now, I've also taken the cabbage and I've strained it and rinsed it several times in clear water to try and get rid of as much of the salt as I could. Now, our marinade has percolated well. All the flavors have blended. I've mixed the onions and carrots together. Now I'll put half in this bowl, half in that, mix it again. The reason I'm doing that is it gives me more room to do the mixing. while I'm doing this, I'd just like to encourage you to sign up for my subscription on this YouTube channel and hit the like button. That'll give you notice whenever I do a new video. A comment would be helpful too. What do you think of this recipe? Have you tried it? Would there be something else you would put in it besides the ingredients that I've done? All right. Oh, this is looking good. As I'm doing this, one thing I'm thinking might be a good ingredient to add would be radish. Now I'm going to have enough coleslaw for the neighborhood. I sure hope my daughter eats a lot of it. Now the time has come. This is where the rubber meets the road. Or is it the road that meets the rubber? Whatever. Now it's the time to taste it. I know the ingredients are going to savor together. They're going to percolate together over time. So probably in another hour or so, it'll taste a little bit better yet. Crunchy, sweet. The oils and the vinegar mix and create this smooth taste on the palate. Yeah. There's no way the neighbors are getting any of this. Well, this was a 2 thumbs up. Like I said before, if you like this video, please subscribe, hit the bell, and leave a comment for me. This is really good stuff. Until the next time, keep on cooking.